Hello, and welcome to our video on genetic predisposition. A genetic predisposition, also known as genetic susceptibility, is an increased likelihood of developing a particular disease or condition based on a person's genetic makeup. It's important to note that predisposition contributes to the development of diseases and/or conditions, but it's not the actual cause. Whether an individual is predisposed to a condition or disease can be determined based on family history and/or genetic screening. There is ongoing research aimed at estimating an individual's risk for developing diseases based on the presence of genetic variants across their genome. This measure, known as the polygenic risk score, is expected to help guide healthcare divisions in the future. Genetic variants are differences between individuals' DNA. These variants occur in specific locations in our DNA, and some are common in certain population groups, whereas others are unique to certain particular individuals. As previously stated, genetic predispositions come from genetic variations. These variations in DNA are passed down from parent to child, and they are different from what's considered the standard DNA gene sequence. When one of these variations is inherited, it leads to an individual who is more vulnerable to a particular condition or number of conditions. In individuals with a genetic predisposition, the risk of developing a disease or condition can depend on multiple factors, in addition to the variants in the genome. For example, lifestyle, nutrition, and environmental factors. Diseases that are caused by a combination of factors are described as multifactorial. Although a person's genetic makeup cannot be altered, some lifestyle and environmental modifications, such as having more frequent disease screenings and maintaining a healthy weight, may be able to reduce disease risk in people with a genetic predisposition of some sort. Let's look at an example of how genetic predisposition can combine with other factors and lead to the development of a multifactorial condition. Pretend that a given gene produces a protein that is important for the proper functioning of your immune system. A certain number of individuals have a genetic variation within that gene that makes them deficient in that protein. If you are deficient in that protein because you have that genetic variation, you're more susceptible to developing an autoimmune disease like lupus or rheumatoid arthritis. You and your two siblings all inherit said variation from your mother. Your mother was a perfectly healthy individual until she entered menopause. The hormonal changes combined with that genetic variation led her to develop lupus. Sibling 1, as an adult, travels around the world and catches a rare viral illness. That illness combined with the genetic variation that led him to develop lupus. Sibling 2 works in an industrial facility and is exposed to some toxic substances. This, combined with the genetic variant, leads to the development of rheumatoid arthritis. Meanwhile, you, the third sibling, managed to avoid environmental hazards, illnesses, or vices. You ate healthy and worked out regularly and managed to live a healthy life despite having the same genetic variant as your siblings and mom. A large number of diseases and/or conditions involve known or suspected genetic predispositions, including some of the most prevalent diseases in the U.S. Hundreds of other diseases are known or believed to involve genetic predisposition as well, and researchers are likely to discover even more as studies continue and new information becomes available. To reiterate, having a genetic predisposition to a condition is not the same as having a directly inherited genetic disease. A genetic predisposition does not guarantee that you will develop the condition. Predispositions might require other factors, such as environmental factors, to be present in order to trigger the manifestation of this disease. An inherited condition means that you inherited the affected variant from one or both of your parents, and because of this, you will develop the condition. Some inherited diseases include cystic fibrosis, Fragile X syndrome, hemochromatosis, Huntington's, Marfan syndrome, phenylketonuria, polycystic kidney disease, and Tay-Sachs disease. It's becoming more common for individuals to subject themselves to genetic testing, either for curiosity or before having a child so they know their risk of passing along the affected genetic material. For some conditions with known predispositions, such as breast cancer, you can have genetic testing done to help identify your risk of developing the disease. Knowing your risk may help you make lifestyle modifications to reduce the likelihood of developing the condition. It can also provide information regarding the health of your potential offspring. To undergo genetic testing, usually the person submits a sample of saliva or a swabbing from the mouth mucosa, although DNA can be obtained from any other biological sample. The DNA from the cells from the submitted sample is then studied to establish if any genetic variations that would lead to a certain condition are present. While we cannot decide or prevent which DNA variants are passed down from our parents to us, we could help minimize the odds of developing a genetic condition to which we are predisposed by undergoing genetic testing to establish if we are indeed predisposed to a condition, and if so, taking the necessary steps to try to mitigate it. For example, genetic testing for breast cancer predisposition has led individuals to undergo preventative mastectomies. As previously mentioned, leading a healthy lifestyle can also help minimize disease development. Finally, you should always consult with your healthcare provider regarding your predisposition risk and what you could do to help mitigate it. It's important to know that one can take steps to minimize the risk of developing the disease, but one can never say for certain that the condition or disease will never develop. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.